Ooh. Hello. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm jamming out over here. All right. Don't worry. You can jam with me too. I promise. This is the sound I'm listening to. First off, can everybody hear me? Because that is usually what's going on first. I had to fix my sound to begin with. Oh, get comfortable. Cool, everybody can hear me. All right, all right. Now, new setup, new rules. Not new rules, but I moved some stuff on my desk. Ta-da! Yay! And now you can see. What is that? What is that thing? Oh, there we go. There's like a little cut right here for the camera to see me. Right. All right. What am I doing today? Today I am slinging snow on this guy right here. This gentleman. And I like how it looks so far with all the snow where it's at. The method I used was pretty good. It created some snow in places. I'll probably knock out some of the snow because, like right here, I don't need snow there. That's just excessive. But like the snow in the gaps stayed. Nothing is wrecked too much. Nothing fell off whilst sitting upon my desk, and I gamed and raged and did other things. Can I still carefully? There we go. There we go. All right, cool. I can still remove it without breaking it. Now we're going back and all right. So I have a bunch of wheels here too. They're gray and sad. That one somehow I forgot to airbrush this one, so I have to go and do that. But so let's get cracking with. I used matte varnish, some technical Valhalla Blizzard, and I mixed them together, and that's what I was using just to spread. No, the wheels are not edible. It's a choking hazard. But that's what I was using. Back on to what I was saying. This is how I make the snow. I put it over here in my wet palette. The matte varnish. And then I throw on some of this Valhalla snow. And the matte varnish and the Valhalla snow together make it stick. I'm gonna grab my awesome multi-tool here, my multi-scooper called Popsicle Stick that I leftover popsicle stick from a snack earlier in the year. We're just gonna mix it together in the wet palette, mixing it like that. Hey, I get a nice little slush. I think I'm gonna add more snow because it's a little too matte varnishy for me. I'm gonna add about that much snow. Yes, I know what it really looks like. Let's keep the easy jokes to ourselves. All right. I got the snow consistency that I want. Oh, okay. That's on you, sir. Picking a tool to use. How about a brush I don't care about? That sounds like a good idea. The brush I don't care about is not a good brush. And because it's not a good brush, it doesn't pick up the snow like I want it to. All right. So I was using logic when I was putting this snow down, and my logic was, um, wherever there's snow, it would only be there where it doesn't get really hot. So I was avoiding putting snow in places like the engine deck and you know, places where the snow would probably melt immediately whilst upon there. As soon as it was on there. So I am just going to put more slush in corners and crevasses. Like under here where it's you probably wouldn't even notice. Uh-oh. Got some extra snow on my chart here. Let me actually you actually do need to. I'm putting snow like here, continuing on, and then putting snow all up in here. It's a delicate art. Going down. No, these are not 3D printed. This one is from the Ontario Regiment Tank Museum. When I visited, not this year, but last year, I bought some tank models from them, and that's what I'm putting together. This is the T-54, as featured at the Ontario Regiment Tank Museum. Yeah. It's from Tamiya. That's what I was, long story to get to the fact that it's a Tamiya tank model. Not sure if you've ever done much tank modeling before in your life to know all the brands. This is a Tamiya tank model, and they are known to be very intricate and almost annoyingly intricate. I think I say this every stream, but for example, this plate right here, they could have just made it a model and just cut it out. So that's what I thought they would have done. But they made me glue this extra piece on here. I had to actually put the thing together and then glue on an extra plate. You hate the auto graphics for your device? I'm sorry, Jessica. Is it set to that? Anyway, going back, throwing snow. That's what we're doing. It's like, this is what I mean. So like all of this area, this is where the tank engine is. This whole big square. Not a lot of room to work around. And it definitely would not have snow on it. So I'm trying to keep that into consideration, which is why I didn't put any right here in the corner. I am going to keep putting it here. Yay, snow. Ooh, that's a lot. Ooh, that is a lot. I'll use the other end of my special tool. Just this end. Knock that down some. The front needs more snow. Like it. No, I am not awesome enough to do dioramas at this point. Resin's tricky. A lot of people that put together resin, they have like a whole area to put the resin. I live in an apartment and I'm afraid of, like, if I spill resin somewhere, not in the kitchen, it's going to be bad. I suppose I could do it on in the outside, but who goes outside anymore? But yeah, I could make it there outside. And then when it's outside, do all that stuff and then just show you what I did. Like, you don't need to see me mixing the resin and putting it together. But also, like, when you do dioramas, you gotta, like, I deal with trees and bushes and buildings, and so many more details are involved that I'm just not interested in. Like, I like putting together tanks because tanks are cool. Well, I play the game. I like tanks. Um, I don't care about designing a whole scene for my dead tank. I think every scene of mine would be post-apocalyptic because that's one of my favorite genres. Like, I like Mad Max. I honestly like the Mad Max remake more than the first Mad Max. I know if this tank was moving, I don't think this snow would be here on the drums, but I do think it would be gathered in the corners, and that's why I'm doing it. I will get rid of that later when it's more dry. Okay. Sculpt a mold for the groundwork. Not if I do a city scene. I guess. And now I gotta put things in windows. Now I gotta put windows together. I'm just not a fan. My parents burned me out on home home improvement shows. So that's what goes through my head when you're like, yeah, just create a city scene, and I'm like, oh gosh, the amount of work that goes into that. Yeah, I'm a butterfly masseuse, and I'm a dog therapist. Our budget's like 60 grand, $60 million. What? I do want to add more details to the T55. Like, the camo is not set in a very good spot. I need to smooth out a lot of the details in the camo. But I've been wanting to sling snow since I got this stuff. I also found a cool excuse me. I found a cool tutorial on how to do Rust. I was thinking about doing Rust in some spots, but I don't know if I want to put Rust anywhere. If I'm already putting snow on something, hi Rock. I'm already putting snow on the tank. I feel like that's a lot, and then to throw Rust on top of that, that's even more. Let's fail at one thing at a time. Is what I'm trying to say. Let's fail at snow before we fail at Rust. Man, this brush is awful. What is this? Cornell? Ugh. Sorry, Cornell. You are not a good brush. Any Cornell fans out there? I'm sorry, but your brushes stink. That's my opinion. Hey. Oh, you probably want to see what I'm doing. I'm just putting snow all up in this tank's grills. Hi, B Ted. Good to see you. Is that a raid? Did I get raided? Oh, it's just this one brush. The rest of my brushes are good. I tell you, never throw away a brush because you could use it for something like this. Usually Sobble. Me too. Me too. I have the Nico brushes. That's the brand I like. I like the Nico stuff. Get in there. I'm probably gonna regret this creative choice to put snow like this on this. There's that. That one's good. I think I'm good with the turret. Oh, I missed a spot. I missed a spot. How was everyone's weekend? Oh, it's a T-54. Sorry, B Ted. T-54 is the tank I'm currently working. Tommy model. I need to get some snow up in here. You've never seen them auctioned? I don't think they're good enough to auction. But yeah, that I do plan on seeing if they want to use some as like an easy item to auction for like a quarter or something. I don't think they're worth that much. They're okay. They're good enough to drag out? Yes, they are. Oh, I haven't seen you guys. Oh yeah, I have. I have seen you guys. I forgot I streamed a bunch last week as well, so you got to hear my stories of celebrating freedom. I have a pretty gnarly looking thumb. So sorry. Sorry about my gnarly thumb if you see it on stream. I tried to cover it up one year and it just took really long, like a really long time to heal. So this year wasn't trying to burn it again in the same exact way, but that's what happened. And it also happened while helping out the same kid. So this kid has it out for me, I guess. No, she's awesome. She's very sweet. She would like her fireworks lit and wants to be standing in front because that's what you do when you're a kid. And the adult's supposed to be like, oh, no, you need to stand perpendicular to me because said fireworks going to die, going to shoot out a bunch of sparks. I did not do that. My thumb suffered the consequences. Luckily, it was towards the end of the night. Wasn't in too much pain. No, a kid, a little girl came up and she wanted her sparkler lit, and I didn't want to give a little kid a lighter, so I feel like that's a bad idea. So when she goes up to me, she holds it like this, like, "Hey, light my sparkler." And then so I lit the sparkler, and then it shot its sparks towards me because I didn't tell the kid you need to stand perpendicular. Ooh. So all those sparks landed right on my thumb. And it doesn't take very long before burn your thumb pretty good. I ran out of snow, so I need to make some more. So I'm putting that down, using some matte varnish. That's a long tog! A lot of tog going on. Okay. Did I need to make more snow? I don't think I did. I really don't think I needed to make more snow. What a mess. I guess I could also make this mud, couldn't I, if I just painted it? It would make good mud. I could make it into mud. Oh yeah, I could do that. Brown snow is mud, right? No, not really. I used to when I worked on helicopters. I used to have calloused hands and rough hands. I took pride in the fact that any waiter that gave me a hot plate I could hold for 10 seconds because like as soon as an aircraft comes back from flying, you have to open up the engine bay, and that sucker is hot. In case you've never been around an airplane, it's really really warm. So I got desensitized to that kind of heat on my hands, at least. And yeah, not anymore. I took an inside job. My fitness is suffering because of it. It suffers even more now that I have a work from home set up. Not much, not much motivation to go out into the world anymore. Oh, once again, sorry, sorry. You want to see what I'm doing? I'm just slinging snow. Oh goodness. This snow is actually going to look more like mud. I decided. Because I doubt all of the vibrations and movement of a tank would result in snow hanging out. So I'm just going to use this stuff, and I'm going to make it look like mud with paint. So I'm paying attention to details like mud in the corners and slung all up in the grill over here. Yeah, like that. That's a good detail to have, right? Mud. Fake mud. When you're doing tank models, that's a good... Crazy Florida Man, that's me. Slush is brown. Yes. You are correct. The slush would be brown. However, you got to put the slush on first. Paint it brown. Do you mind? This one piece of slush. Out of snow again. I'm trying not to mix so much because I don't want to have leftover snow that I don't use. I'm just trying to find a reason. Reason to use the snow. Let me use this toothpick to actually help out this stuff. There we go. Get off the thing and into the snow pile. Me too. In Korea, I drove a Humvee that didn't have a speedometer that worked. So we had to use my first sergeant's phone with a speedometer app to overcome that one. That was fun. When your priority is fixing helicopters, they don't take care of their Humvees very well. And the people that their job is actually to fix the vehicles for the unit were like, that's your job. You're supposed to inspect it and do all this. And we're like, I really have time to inspect another vehicle and maintain it? No, I don't have enough time to maintain another vehicle in my life. I got a fleet of helicopters. Because they don't just give you a helicopter and be like, that's it, that's your helicopter. Just take care of your helicopter. Everybody else's helicopter can burn. Can go to heck. Heck in a handbasket. They don't do that. You gotta help out your everybody. They fade the paint to make it look worn? Hmm. You think they do that on purpose? They try to fade the paint? Instead of just like... Because I know if I applied one varnish on a tank, it was a model. I applied a varnish on a model, and the varnish gave it, like, when it dried, it gave it like an opaque glaze over the whole thing. Not what I intended. So like I had to repaint the whole thing and then use a different varnish method because it coated everything on top and it gave it like a hazy look, so it faded all my paint. It was very sad. Oh, I can also paint that log. I haven't painted the log yet. So painting log would be the other thing that I do today. I guess today is more about the details than anything. Slinging snow, painting log. I started painting the little man, the tank commander. His name is Timothy. Started painting Timothy, so he has skin now. Before he didn't. Looks like I'm using Vallejo. I am not using Vallejo. I am using Citadel. I was not in Seoul. Seoul is like an hour and a half drive on a bus away. Like I've been to Seoul. I think that's Yongsong, Camp Yongsong, if I remember correctly. I forget where specifically I was in Korea. It was a really small place that where the helicopters were. And every morning, like there was also there was a Korean air base that we ran off of. And on that Korean air base, every morning they would run up the same aircraft, the same jet engine, and it was loud as heck. So I'm not a morning person. I never have been a morning person. But that's what I remember most about my visit to Korea. Um, what was it? So that jet engine sound, going to the field, and then now I'm not disparaging the USO in any way because they do a lot for soldiers, but this USO hired a band and they murdered that famous Three Doors Down song. So anytime I hear that song played, I'm like, I can't not hear that band member's rendition of that song going in my head. Because it's not like they had them come to base one time. No, no, no. They came every Friday. So she butchered that song every Friday for me for a year. And then they're like, hey, do you want to stay in Korea? I'm like, no, I'm good. Send me to war, please. Back to war. Send me back to war. You're at Camp Stanley. Casey? Casey sounds good. Camp Casey. Camp Casey. That does sound familiar. Camp Eagle. That's where I was at. I was at Camp Eagle. Half Attack. Half Attack, Camp Eagle. That's where I was. Definitely would. Man, that took my brain a long time to remember that detail. That's also where I got good at pool. Well, I got okay at pool. Camp Red Cloud. Humping on the Yamas. Camp Humphreys. I remember I enjoyed going to Yongsong because there was a Taco Bell there. I think one time I went to one of their festivals with some friends and we got shrimp pizza. It was good. Only Humphreys is left. Yeah, I heard we got out a lot. A lot of our a lot of our people left. All they did was train for Iraq. There's not a lot to do after you train for Iraq. Tell everybody every time. When I was training there, I had already been to Iraq once. And because I was there, I had a combat patch. I had the first cav combat patch. So every single time we had to do training, I first of all, we were doing training and they were like, all right, imagine there's a tank here and it rolled over. So I was like, all right, I'll imagine there's a tank there, I guess. This is how you roll. This is how you do it. And the guy was just reading it from a book. Like, he didn't know himself. He was just reading it from the pamphlet. And I was like, hey, I have like real work to do. Can I leave? You did. I was there. We did a tour of North Korea after, not North Korea. We did a tour in South Korea to the border of North and South Korea the day after they tested their first nuke. So I was in their meeting room. They have this giant meeting room for those of you who've never been. And in this meeting room, there's a long table. And this table is directly over each side. One half of it is over the South Korean side, the other half is on the North Korean side. And the place is heavily guarded. And I'm talking like these guards of Buckingham Palace, but Korea version. And they look scary. And yeah, I don't think we ever starved. Korea was a good place because they actually had people were in their DFAC and they didn't contract it out. So our DFAC was run by people that were actually like that was their job in the army was to cook and run a DFAC. So I thought that was cool. That was a cool thing. But you want to see what I'm doing? I'm spreading snow and making it look like mud. Making it all dirty. Ooh, that's dirty. Do you think so? Well, I better not show you where the lemonade is made. Oh, lemonade, sweet, sweet lemonade. I am. I am. Oh, back to my story about North Korea. So, this place where the conference table is in a building. On the South Korean side of the building, they have Korean soldiers, and this is how they stand. They have to stand in shifts and pretend that this is the wall. They have to stand like this, looking and making sure that nobody is coming. They stand there for like hours at a time, making sure no one from North Korea approaches the border of South Korea in a vicious way. And inside of that building where they stand guard like that, there's a giant conference table. And they do conferences, I guess, every once in a while. And it extends over the border of North and South Korea. So, of course, I had to do the whole I'm on the north side, now I'm on the south side, now I'm on the north side, now I'm on the south side. I feel bad for the guards that watch me do that. Because that's probably like the 80th time someone did that in front of them. He was not amused. I don't think he was allowed to show if he was amused or not. But he didn't laugh. He did not laugh at all. He did not. We don't know. We do know that there was a story of like the DMZ, there's someone that has to take care of the trees and clip trees. So, like, clip the leaves and the branches. Well, a branch fell on the north side, and he went over to get it, take care of it. And the North Koreans didn't like that, and they attacked him, and he did not make it. So I'm laughing because it's not funny. It's awful that happened to that guy. But that's how serious they are. That's where they're at. Like mentally. Part of the tour that we did was also because it was the DMZ, like the tour of the DMZ. You go down this tunnel, and in this tunnel there is, it's a big tunnel, and it's on the South Korean side, and the South Koreans discovered it, and they made a museum out of it. Yeah, museum. So when they went to talks to North Korea about this tunnel, because it was headed towards Seoul, they were like, "Oh, we were looking for coal." Yes, it's the Tamiya kit. Maybe I'm not sure. But they said it was they were mining for coal, and they wiped like charcoal on the walls to help legitimize to make it legit. So that's my Korea. That's what I did for a year in Korea. I think someone tried to send me to WLC while I was there, and I did not want to go to WLC in Korea. I had zero interest in being an NCO. Being an NCO is a lot of work for not that much pay raise. At least in my job it was. Because when you're NCO at first, they give you the worst people to train you. And I would definitely be the NCO that's like, I don't have soldiers past 9 p.m. And I don't think you're allowed to do that. I don't think you're allowed to say that when you're an NCO. Sergeant First Class in tanks? Nice, nice. Since you were Sergeant First Class in the tanks, how do you decide who gets what job in the tank? I've always wondered that. How do you decide who gets to be the gunner, who gets to be the driver? Is there a test that you take and whoever scores highest gets to go? Or is it like whichever one is the most work, that's what they have to do? Like the new guy's always the loader. E4 Mafia, yes, yes, exactly. E4 Mafia. I have an E4 Mafia story. It was a good time. We were supposed to. We were doing 12-hour shifts in my company in Iraq. And the shift that was supposed to relieve us didn't. And they didn't relieve us because they had to watch a video and do like one of those stupid classes. Yep, new guy walks. Oh, no rank. No rank. So 50 cal mounting pintles, yeah. I don't know what a 50 cal mounting pintle is, but I do know what the E4 Mafia is. So they had to watch a video and do a training, which they could have done at any other time. The busiest time for me and my job was at the beginning of my shift and at the end of my shift. Anywhere in between, it's kind of dead because they don't schedule flights around those times for some reason. But yeah. So they could have watched that stupid video and gone through that stupid training any other time during their shift, but no. They wanted to be an hour and a half late. So me and the other E4s in our unit decided we're going to show up an hour and a half late all together. So that's exactly what happened. We all showed up an hour and a half late to relieve the shift because that's what they did to us. And our sergeant first class did not like that at all. And our NCOs were mad at us because we did that. He threw a book down and he called us mutiners. Mutineers. We all had to stand at attention in the most awkward places because we all went to work immediately. We were just coming into work late. We were still doing our job. We weren't trying to overthrow him or anything, which that is the definition of a mutiny. Extra duty? None. We already did a lot. Like, there's not a lot of extra you couldn't make us do. We were already doing everything. I think they made us like wash all the aircraft, which, okay. Normal. Guard mount in Korea is no joke. Yes. I have a collection of model tanks. I do. I only have two. One I'm not a fan of, but the other one is pretty cool. So this one I tried to do cartoon shading, cell shading, and this is actually from like an old tank game called World War Toons, and this is a tiger. So this was just a cartoony looking tiger. So I tried to make it look cartoony. And then I 3D printed these tank rounds going into it. That was fun to do. I had to manufacture this gun because this gun broke. But yeah, there's that tank. You can see I did the cool thing in the back. Yeah. And then the other one I did is this toony looking Sherman. Suppose I could leave them here. I suppose they could be in the way. Move my mouse. Don't need that. Okay. So I think I have enough mud / slush on my tank and all over my mouse pad mount. My PC mat. I imagine so, since in Korea, a lot of them, it's mandatory to do. Like you have to go do the Korean military, and it's not a choice. So it's them stealing your stuff. I'm betting yes, they would do that because they don't want to be there. A lot of them did not want to be there. It was also messed up because like we have a Katusa, that's what they're called. They're deployed with us. They're attached to your unit in whatever job that they want to do, I guess. And our Katusa was used as, I didn't know this, and I feel awful the fact that like when they were doing it, but uh he was straight up, oh hey Jarlath, yes, I did not make it to Akina this year. How was the RC tanks? How did that go? I was at a graduation. My youngest nephew was graduating, so I had to go and support him. That's why I was not there. Back to my story though. Our Katusa was used when we were training with what you call it? Training with use this one, I guess. I'm not a fan of that. This is black gray. I need this. Yeah, so we were training and doing what you call it, an NBC attack. So like in Korea, we were in the field doing all our work. Oh no! Oh no! A dust devil. Goodness. It's awful. I'm so sorry. Sorry to hear that. Um, so we were pretending that an NBC had attacked us, and like we were hit with an I like a chemical attack, and they used the Katusa was volunteered to test the air as part of the training. Like he tested the air quality and made sure that we could breathe before. That's what they used our Katusa for. And I was like, oh, that is awful. I can't believe. Like that's in the book. That's the training book. Okay, that's sad. All right, so I am using some black paint. I'm not a fan of this paint, this game color paint. And what I'm doing is I want to paint some veins in these trees. So that's what I'm doing. I'm being very gentle and painting some lines all up in here. Just being very careful. Oh, it's fine. I enjoy talking. So I know this looks bad. I agree with you. Yes, we were. We were. The reason I haven't is because I'm not ready to tackle that project yet. But soon. PM. I suppose I could use a Dremel to make it look like wood. This is probably what I should be doing. What I should have done in the first place. Or gluing it in place. But we're not there. Thanks, it's a bad line. I still have your card. It's here. I haven't forgotten you. Just not ready to tackle that project yet. Better. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I had a big blob of black here, so I had to like use all my dexterity. Yes, I do want to do more. There's one big one that I have planned that's coming up. I think it is the next thing I'm doing, and it involves the community. So it's 3D printing involving you guys. I'm not ready to reveal it yet, but it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be awesome. They just I'm busy. I'm busy trying to get good. I suppose I should have used a smaller. I'll use a smaller brush. When am I going to start a new project from zero? That'll be that project. So I think after this month, this project should be done. This one should be done. I should be starting a new one next month. That's the plan anyway. Now, if you notice, I'm using implied lines, which is they're lines that an artist uses to imply something. And they imply it by not completing the line, and they want your brain to figure it out. So that's what usually an implied line is, and that's what I'm using for all of these tree veins. Because tree veins are very small. I'm only trying to like show the big parts of the vein with what I'm doing here. That's what this technique is. I'm using a big brush for shading of it all, and then I'm going to go in with washes and work in some brown washes and some extra. It'll tone it all down. That's what it'll do. And then I'll use a smaller brush to go over the veins again. And from there, look better. You would like to get a 3D printer? Yes, you should. There are two different types. There's one that prints it normal style with an extruder, and then there's one that uses light and it hardens upside down. The 3D printer I have is the one that extrudes from the top, and it's nice. But if I want detail on something, I wouldn't use it. It doesn't do fine details that great. You can get one for about 200. They have come down in price quite a bit from when they first released. And now you can go more. You can get more like cool stuff on your 3D printer if you spend more money. But just the bare bones 3D printer is like 200 bucks. Sorry, you can't see that. I'm using a shade, which is basically Citadel's version of a wash. And I am gently washing. It's just adding like a... Yes, you can. I know, because I looked recently. I found one I wanted. Mama Boop said she would buy it for me if it wasn't too expensive. But I want this to be nice to me and stay open. Okay. Fine. Be that way. Eddie, I'm busy. Uh, kinda. It's not like super interactive weather effects, but yeah, they've added some stuff. They added there's like a tornado in Sand River that comes in. I think it's one of those settings that you have to have turned on. Oh, you can't see that. All right. That's me using the shade. Basically a wash from Citadel. Which I don't think I should be using. because it's not making enough change across the whole thing. Because it's not meant to do that. It's meant to fall into the seeps and the gaps. And there isn't a lot of texture on here. I have to fake it with the lines. Because I have to fake it with the lines, that paint is useless. So we're going to go to this Steel Legion drab. I haven't used in forever. It needs to be stirred. Hi, Nat Cat. 1. Does that mean you are the 11,111 Nat Cat in existence? I did finally finish all of Stranger Things and The Boys over the weekend. That was good. I was impressed. I won't share anything. What am I using? Steel Legion Drab. So I'm using Steel Legion Drab now because I want to make bigger swathing changes on my stupid log. So as you can see, it's covering everything. But if you use a little dab of water in your brush, you can thin it out like so. You still get to see some of the black veins that I put into the tree, quote unquote, tree. I suppose I should try to 3D print. If I'm not happy with a part, I should just 3D print it and go from there. Because we have the technology to 3D print stuff. I should be using it more. So this is a base, what Citadel calls a base. And you're supposed to like, this is like the basic color that's going to be. And with that color, you layer things on top of it. I'm kind of using a different method for that. My cat is somehow hungry again, or wants my attention for some reason. I haven't hung out with him a lot today. Poor cat. Or him. Oh, 7. I know what that really means. Salute to you, sir. Salute to you. I'm trying to get it to where you can just see some of those lines that I made earlier. Not all of them, because they suck. They were bad. But some of them. I want I want to trick your eye into getting that feel for them. Like something is there. But I don't want you to see the travesty, the full train wreck of them all. Just a little bit. I'm gonna hide those mistakes. Like that one. Okay, I could be proud to call that a log. You can do that. That should have happened already. Um, they'll take care of you. They'll make sure that it gets into your account, or at least make sure it happened. At least they should share with you that it happened and when it happened. There's tree. All right, now I got to do the ends, the rings, those ringing rings. I'm going to use this one. It's called Insane Detail, and it is the Army Painter. No, this one's not the Insane Detail. This one's called the Psycho. It's like 3 hairs wide. I don't know, can you see that? Get close to it. And it won't focus on it. All right, cool. It's called the Psycho. Really tiny, super, super tiny. I'm just gonna dip it in there, and then we're going to get in close and do some circles. The exact same way that I did it before for the rest of the log. Tiniest little dip in the black. Then we're gonna make some parentheses. I'm concentrating while I make close parentheses. And it doesn't have to be, they don't need to be perfect. I found out recently why violins made from a certain place are why they're so expensive. And it's because the winters there get really cold and the summers get really hot or something like that. And it makes the wood denser. So when you play music through it, it sounds better because of the material, the way it reverberates with the vibrations. I thought that was a neat piece of information. Oh, sorry. So that that little anecdote was to show that the circles in here, depending on the weather, affects how trees grow and how many circles they have. It affects the shape of the rings. That's what I was saying. Hard to know if I got paint off of that. All right. So then we're going to use this one, which is really watered down. Base of Steel Legion Drab from Citadel. We going to paint. We're going to paint on top of this. Trying to cover up some of those circles, but not all of them. I want to see some of them. Not all of them. That. I'll do that. Yeah, they have to, right? They're tank tracks. They can go over a lot of stuff. Man, that's awful. I don't think I can fix that. There we go. You just airbrush all your tanks? I would airbrush, but I'm not that good at airbrushing. I don't even know if the airbrush I have can perform the way I would like it to. My airbrush sprays pretty big and I don't know how to make it tiny. Like I think I need to change out the nozzle and the needle and stuff, but I haven't played around with that stuff yet. I know for this scale, airbrush would be ideal. I think when I do, I think I'm gonna airbrush the snow and the mud. Like so, all of this stuff under here, I want to spray brown, like a light mist of brown. And then what? Left a giant clump of snow there. And then I am better with brushes. I've been working with brushes pretty much nonstop for the past 4 years. I've been moved to Texas. And before that, I did some art, digital art. That was an adventure of learning. I picked up a few things from that, like color theory and methods of design. How not to keep drawing anime is not making you a good artist. Anybody can draw anime. That was fun to hear, because school I went to, it attracts a lot of people that are artists, and when you're starting out in art, you try to mimic and imitate things that you like. And at the time, Dragon Ball Z was the thing. So like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, all of that stuff. Magic Knights of Rare Earth. What's the other one that came out? Saint Seiya was one. The Ronin Warriors, that's the one I'm thinking of. Ronin Warriors. Which is just a cartoon version of Power Rangers. Gundam Wing came out. So no offense to everybody if you're an artist and you're drawing anime, because you draw what inspires you and what you like. But the school I went to knows their clientele, not clientele. They know their students, so they figured that's what was inspiring them to draw for the longest time, and they didn't want their students to get just locked into anime style only. They wanted them to branch out as artists and to take on new challenges, which is what you should do as an artist. If you draw the Mona Lisa 80 times, you're good. You're good at the Mona Lisa. Time to move on. Don't just sit there and keep drawing Mona Lisas. You were happy with the colors? Oh, nice. With the chieftain? I haven't done a chieftain. I've done a Sherman, a Tiger, and a very P50. No, it's snowing on my canvas. Where do I get models from? I got this one in particular from the Ontario Regiment Tank Museum, but I have seen them at Hobby Lobby. I have seen some at Michael's, Joanne Fabrics, those places. I'm using from primer. I use Citadel Air. I use Administratum Gray. I'm using Citadel products for paint. But yeah, you can use black for primer and whatnot if you would like. I've used that. I've used a rattle can before too for primer. I haven't had bad results with it. If you are starting out, I don't know if you know, but you should. Hot tip is do a black spray paint, and when you do the black spray paint, cover it all, and then only spray with like a lighter, like a gray or a white, and spray only down and hit everything from that. So that way all of your shadows are going to be pitch black, and then all of your highlights are done naturally for you with that rattle can. And then all you have to do is just go back through and be like, oh, this was a highlight. Ta-da, highlight. And there's a little bit of shadow here. Cool. Most of it's done for you when you spray it like that. So that's one tip that I picked up from modeling. that I really liked doing with all my models. I do that with all of them now. They sell administrative gray in Citadel color in a spray can if you really want a spray paint. It's like $20 though. It's a lot. That's why I don't normally go with it. But yeah. Airless sprayer. Wait, what? How you Gray coat airless. Your airbrush is an airless sprayer. You wanna go over that a little bit, Kirkland? How you gonna have a airless sprayer spray air as an airbrush? No, but how is it airless? How's your airbrush airless? That's what I want to know. Captain Usagi, a really old Batman comic, had a section on how to draw Batman and Robin. And that's where you slowly started. I actually found the page. In a box. Oh, nice. Yes. Hand spray, 5 gallons. That's a lot. How does it propel? Just pressure? Without air? Guessing? Just uses pressurizes the paint, pushes it. Ah, gotcha. Nice. I figured it out. But thank you. That would have hurt me. That would have hurt my head. Had I not finished it. I think I am good here. I think I'm good with that part. I'm looking over here because I have a tank man. And he needs some brown. Little tank man. Tank commander. I need to give him a brown wash. And then this one's gonna go gray. Why? Why not? Why? When? This guy. Oh, sorry, I painted your patch. That sounds like the kind of airbrush I want, is one that's pressurized. And that would actually alleviate my possible bothering my neighbor's issue. Because I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. The neighbor everyone complains about. I live on the top floor because of that reason. I wanted to be the guy that's stomping around, causing all the problems, and not hear anybody else. Because I'm more cognizant of how I walk. I realize I am on the 3rd floor. I try to be light-footed. But I don't think anybody's living beneath me right now. Which is good. I hope it stays that way. Sorry, I bet you couldn't see that. Yes, clog dancing competitions are out. No, I can't clog dance. I can't even practice. Nor can I do my Norwegian throat call. He ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. I guess I should have called him Lieutenant Dan. You occasionally work on cars and have a compressor. You don't want to rattle the windows. Look at you. You're so nice. How courteous of you. As soon as a neighbor upsets you, I'm pretty sure. Here come the air tools. I'm just using them to use them. I could practice. Go to Tragic's place to practice. Ugh. I'm a shy performer. I don't like to. I don't like to go out perform, practice. Okay, so there's that. I got a nice wash down. I'm gonna wind up painting it olive, just like what he's wearing right now, that color. But I want the shadows of it to be, and the tone of it to be brown. Wheelie bike? Sounds awesome. Oh, I can show you what that wash does. What washes do. What wash do? What? Caveman talk. What that wash do? Uh, so this wash, it's actually called a shade. Called Agrax Earth Shade. And I'll show you what it does. Just brings out tiny details in a very, very light fashion. You just spread it all over. And it likes to stick into corners. And any small detail, it likes to bring that out. So you just spread it till you're happy. There's a lot on him. I had a lot on my brush. No, I'm not playing anything Rack the 8. We're watching paint dry. Among other things. I was trying to get right here on his lip. Like that. There you go. I said no. No, I'm not playing. We're watching paint dry. Everybody plays tanks. No one makes them. You can't hear me. Anybody else have an issue hearing me? My mic is working. Oh, now you can hear me. Okay. Where in Florida? I am from a little town called Ocala. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's down on. You take 75. You go through it on your way to Miami. Okay, then you've been there quickly for gas or something. That's usually what happens. Just a pit stop along the way, right after the villages. You can't afford to live in the villages, then you move to Ocala. I don't know if that's true. Oh, you thought I was playing what? No, I'm not playing what. I'm slinging snow. Oh, you've been to the forest? Have you seen the monkeys? Yes. Not a lot of people know. Not a lot of people know that it's the Drag Racing Hall of Fame. Is there? Garlet's? It's Garlet's Drag Racing Hall of Fame? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about the monkeys. That was a product of a TV show. I don't know if you know that. So the story with monkeys, why we're talking about monkeys right now, is in my hometown. There's the Ocala National Forest, huge animal preserve. And the animal preserve is also there's a place called Silver Springs. Silver Springs was a great place to shoot TV shows. So there used to be an old TV show called Tarzan. No, like monkeys, like Reese's Monkeys. So there was an old show called Tarzan that they filmed in my hometown, and part of it was they brought in animals, and they put these monkeys on this island in at Silver Springs, thinking, "Oh, okay, they can't swim; they'll be fine." Well, Reese's Monkeys can swim, and they quickly swam from that little island where they were supposed to stay and got into the Ocala National Forest, and now have been populating so much that they're now an issue for the Ocala National Forest. Stealing your gear. That's awful. But yeah, that happened. And like when they were filming in Silver Springs, they put like statues at the bottom of Silver Springs for filming the show, and they're still there, and they're part of the tour. if you ever want to go on a glass bottom boat tour in Ocala, because there's really nothing else to do. That town is one of the towns that still closed down at like, there's nothing to do past 9 p.m. There's not a lot to do past 9 p.m. Just watch your movie at the movie theater and go to bed. That's what's left to do past 9 in my hometown. Sorry, I have to paint this up close. I'm painting his belt black, because that's what color the belt is. You're an archaeologist, by the way. Nice. I wish you the best of luck in discovering things we never discovered before. That's a messy belt. Well, they're a thing. They howl. They do the whoop, 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 whoop. But they do that louder. Like, really upsettingly loud. Crazy Boop the Howler Monkey. There you go. The Screaming Monkeys. Yes, they do. Okay. Yeah. The Crystal River is the other one. That's the no. Crystal River is the one that Silver Springs is in. There's a part of the Crystal River that's not crystal. When he says Crystal River, so Florida is built on an aquifer, and that aquifer provides fresh water for all of Florida. That's where Florida sits on. I don't know if you know that about Florida geographically, but there's a large body of water, and Florida sits on top of a network of limestone tributaries, and then there's spots in Florida where there's natural springs, and those natural springs feed these rivers, and they are crystal clear. So you can see into the water. You can see gators. You can see like egrets go down and get fish. You can see manatees that swim through the river. It's really pretty. There is an actual job where I don't know if anybody knows that, but there's an actual job where you go scuba diving and you have to go and find like leaves, land debris to predict sinkholes. Like that's a thing. Like there's somebody that bought land and they found out they couldn't build on it after they paid all the price and closing costs and everything, and they couldn't build on it because it was a sinkhole risk. So that was sad. That was one of the saddest stories I heard. Yes. My brother-in-law actually. So my brother-in-law is a detective. He's a detective. He's a detective, and he used to scuba dive for things the police have to scuba dive for. Ah, cool, Kirkland. And he got to swim to the bottom of the Crystal River in the Silver Springs, and he got like old Coca-Cola bottles and Pepsi bottles and brought them up. So that was really cool to see that he. I'm gonna take a little souvenir. Things that I've been down there for years that nobody wants anymore. What am I doing? So I did my man. I gave him some shading. It's okay shading, but it's a little dude. And I painted his belt. What's next is I don't know how detailed I should go on him because I can go pretty hardcore detail. He has no legs. Yes, that's Wikiwachi. Wikiwaki, Wikiwaki. In Wikiwaki, they have a giant aquarium where there's mermaids that do a show in front of you. It's really cool. I think everybody decided to call him Dan. Ooh, ooh, Platka. That place is okay. I never hear anybody going to Platka and being excited about it. They're like, I gotta go to Platka. The base. Clear. Dry brush. I don't use dry brushes. We'll do that one. All right, so now I'm going to go over in a light layer of Stracker Green. The GP mill. So I'm using Stracker Green. And I'm going to go over the brown on this dude. Bring back some of that olive that I took away. You tell him, Rack the 8. You tell him. Tell that mean ocean. You too. Take care. Working man's town is Platka, yes. Decent snack. What's the ice for? Oh, sorry to hear that. I got to pick up a friend from Coyote Ugly the other day. She was very inebriated. She had a good time. Ricky Monkey! How you doing, dude? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. No, that is nothing in like I wrote in. I think I wrote in APC. And then I rode in something else. I was late trying to get into the bank on the second day. Whatever. Just in the APC. Totally fine. I wrote in the percent sign dollar. 54. I don't know. I think so. I can't tell you. I'm bad. I'm bad with tanks. I'm like, that one is Russian. That's where I'm at with tanks so far. And that one's German. Like, I used to know all the Pokemon. And then they came out with over 700. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. That looks good. I got this. Thank you. Oh, it's almost time. Almost time to raid someone else. Very excited. To do nothing for the rest of the night. No, I'm working on some magic stuff. Magic the Gathering. It's less Walmart too. What? More table. That means. Alright, because I need to make sure his top is dry before I paint his pants. Like this? Oh, then all my secrets are revealed. I don't know. Someone said they got something today. Yes. It was not important for me to know. I made sure that they got off the ground and came back. Well, came back. I took care of them when they got back. The day you held aloft my magic sword? What? I don't have a magic sword. No, I play a game called Magic the Gathering. Very nerdy. What else am I painting? Suppose I could paint that. Those wheels. They need to get painted. I also need to find someone to raid. Let's do that instead. Cleaning my brush, get all the paint out of there. Form the tip. It's very important. Shape the tip of your brush. Then we're going to tap that. Move that out of the way. More, don't need that anymore. Cleaning up a little bit. Here we go. Get out of here. Snow. Put the paints away. Put the paints away. Keep these out. That's what I was looking for. Dang it. Dang it. And your favorite color is green. You have a lot of green paints. And you forget what's out and what's not. That's technical, so we're going to put that here. Normal paint, we're going to put that there. Very important to put your paints away. Otherwise, they get in the way. Then you don't know what you're doing, like having a mouse. Whee! Okay, so who is streaming World of Tanks? Who is streaming World of Tanks? Those are all my followers. Okay, okay, that's cool. That's cool. World of Tanks. Oh, hang on. I know this. I know this one. Talk to me, Goose. Nick Shocks. Mr. Beetlebum. Hagglar. Let's raid Hagglar. Well, bye, Cracky Monkey. Good seeing you. Am I hosting tomorrow's stream? Good question. I can answer that. With this new thing that I haven't going there, changed. I don't think I am. Let's see. No, I'm modding. It's Commander AF and Tragic. Yes, Tragic will be back tomorrow. So you should be good there. Okay. But I am coming back. I'll be back Thursday. I'll be back Thursday streaming with Gamba John. And then and then it's Nick. And then I guess I'm not going to do another crazy creative until August. Okay. So I'm going to try making videos and posting videos for the completion of this tank because I want to start that next project. What am I doing? That's right. I am raiding Hagglar. I do test out this with the and I go boom. Good work. Log in. Do not send me to who's you? Hours ago. Ah, there we go. All right. Cool. It was great seeing everybody. I don't have any news. No news. Take care. And I will see you next week. No, I'll see you Thursday. I'm going to see you Thursday. Bye, everyone.